Hello and welcome to this new tutorial. So today we're gonna see how to make fireworks in Unity. So this should be a fast video. I mean, fireworks are very easy to make, especially in Unity. So yeah, let's get started. So first of all, I just created my main folders, so they're ready. And I just created a new scene, and that's it. That's all there is for now. So what we have to start with is, of course, creating a new particle system. So let's name it missile, because this is what will be our missile. Let's put it into 0, 0, 0, and that's all good. Okay. So I only want one missile for now. So let's remove the rate over time, and let's just add one missile in burst. As you can see, this is a very slow moving missile, but that's what I want for now. I don't want it to be that slow though, so maybe 20 in speed. Maybe even 25. Okay. I don't want it to loop. I only want one missile to be procced. Okay. And I want some gravity, because we are on Earth and there is some gravity on Earth. Here. And the lifetime, let's say 1.25 maybe. Maybe a bit more gravity. Okay. Now I don't want it to go that far, like on the left or on the right. So let's change this. And let's say the radius is to be 0. So that it always goes from 1 point. Like if you have missile shooter, it only shoots from 1 point. So that's how we want it. And now the motion looks good for me. I think it's a bit too big though, so let's say 0.5. Okay. So the way you do fireworks is that you have this missile here. When it dies, it will spawn a bunch of other particles. And so let's create those particles for now. So right-click on missile, effects, particle system. I'll call them sub-emitters, because that's what they are, sub-emitters. And let's say I want them not to proc over time, but rather on a burst. Let's add some random already, and let's say between 30 and 60 particles at the same time. Okay, just like the missile, those will need gravity, so let's say 2. Okay, maybe that's a bit too big. 1.5. And let's give them a lot more speed. 25. And now most fireworks just don't fire like this in a cone, but rather in a sphere. Like this. Now the speed is way too big with a sphere, so let's say 10. Okay. And let's remove the lifetime, because that's 5, it's a bit too much for fireworks. So let's say between 1 and 1.5. Now that looks good. Now of course I don't want them to explode just when we launch the missile, because that would be dangerous. So instead of that, let's activate the sub-emitters module here. And let's just drag and drop our sub-emitters into this. And you can see it didn't really change much, rather than now we don't see them anymore for some reason. But I want them to be on the death. And normally it works, yeah. So here you have your particle system for fireworks. Here, that's done. Hey, good job. Well, yeah, but now that's really ugly, and there is no colors, and there is no trails, and it's just yeah, there is nothing. Just the basic motion of stuff. So let's add some color first, just so that we have the basics. I like blue, so I'll take blue. And now you will see that the missile is indeed blue, but not those ones. So Unity has this magical little function here into sub-emitters that says inherit everything, color, size, or rotation. I only want the color for now, so let's say color. And poof, it works. But now they are very dark, and I don't like dark. So let's change the shader. Let's just create a material. Let's call it glow. Not folder. A material here. Glow. And let's not create a new shader, because that would be a bit over the top. So let's just go into particles additive. Here and here. And let's just select the default particle one. All good. Now let's go into both of them, into renderer, and let's just drag and drop glow into material. Now that's a lot better. I think it's a bit too bright. So let's just change that a bit. Here, simulate. Looks a bit better already to me. And as you can see, those are still white. It's just that they take the color from the missile and apply it to those particles. Okay, that's good. But yeah, it should be a lot better if we add a trail. So let's add them. Let's go into subemitters first, and let's add a trail. So you will see here, ooh, ugly, because there is no trail material yet. So let's create one. Trail. But yeah, we cannot really use that for trail particle texture. So let's create a new texture here. And for this one, I'd say 64 should be more than enough because it's really small on the screen. So Ctrl I to revert, Ctrl Shift N to create a new layer. And let's use the brush here on white to create simply just a line at the center of it. And that center. Okay. And as you can see, it's not very regular. So to make it regular, just add a little Gaussian blur. 4 should be more than enough. Okay. Let's just save it here. I'm already in the right folder. And let's just call it texture trail. Okay. Now let's just drag and drop the texture into the material and apply the material to the trail. Okay. So now, yeah, I mean, you can see the fireworks. You can see that it is a fireworks, but yeah, it's still ugly. So let's change this from the width of our trail is how wide it's gonna be over the particle over the trail. So let's start with 0.1. Oh, that's a bit too small. Maybe 0.25. Yeah, that should be good. But as you can see here, I still have to have the origins so to make sure it does not disappear. But you can see here it's cut. I mean, yeah, it could work in some games if it's seen from far away. I mean, it's not a big deal, but I don't like it. So I want it to change over the lifetime. I want it to change like this. Now, it looks good. I mean, you can see that it's a bit aliased here, but it's no big deal. We can change that if we add an anti-aliasing to the camera. But to make it a bit better, we can already change the color of our trail. So that's the same as the width, instead it's the color. Let's just use a gradient and simply select the alpha at the end, and let's say alpha 0. That it fades, it's alpha 1, 255, or 1 if it's normalized, and 0 at the end. Simple. Now, I mean, I like that those ones are as they are, like that. But, I want them to follow the trail a bit more. So let's say I want them to be stretched. And 0.1. And 1 here, 1.5. Let's just test some values, and yeah, that's okay. But now, yeah, you can see that that's not really how physics work. So we have to add a little offset to it. And that should be about that. Should be good enough. And oof. Now, for me, they are way too big. So let's just change the size here, 0.5. 0.25 looks good. Now, maybe it's a bit too much here. 1.2, and maybe it's a bit too small. So yeah, a bit more like this. this? 0.4. Yeah, 0.4 looks good. And to make sure, let's add a little more offset. Okay. A bit less. 1.1 or just 1. That should be good enough. Yeah, that's good. Now, as you notice, they all die at the same time, and the trail disappears with them, and yeah, that's not really good looking. So there's a little checkbox here that says die with particles, and by default it's activated, probably for optimization reasons, which is good. But we don't want that here, so let's just uncheck that. And let's try again. Yeah, now you can see that the trails survive even when the particle is dead. But for as much as I like it, you can still see that, yeah, it's like this, and yeah, it's not really. I mean, it could work, I guess, from far distance, but I'd rather have particles die out like this. So I just changed the color of a lifetime to have at 50% still max visibility, but then slightly fade out until the end. And this will look like this. See, I guess it's a bit less natural, but for me it looks better. Now also, some fireworks look like this, but some are like they're a precise sphere. I would like to try to get that. And to do that, I can try using this, limit velocity of a lifetime. By default, this is what it looks like. So it limits the speed to 1, and that's it. You cannot go over 1. But yeah, I mean, that's just right how it works, right? So we'll say that at first, it doesn't have any limit, and then it limits the speed. Or rather, that's the opposite. We can say that it goes to 10 at max, and then it limits up to 0, so that they cannot move anymore. And yeah, it looks very weird. It even looks like they are somehow like inwards. They don't, but it looks a bit like it, which is weird. Let's try playing with the values here. And let's try without gravity, just to see how it looks like. Oh, it looks weird. Let's remove the stretch billboard and the offset. Okay. Yeah, I guess it doesn't really work well with the stretch billboard because it takes the speed in account, and if you reach speed 0, yeah, it's a bit weird. So yeah, let's try like this, and maybe not 1 in the dampen. That multiplies this by this, basically. Okay, that's better. Now let's try again with our gravity. 1.5. I wish there could be a way to use this, but without affecting the gravity. I haven't found how to do that yet. I'm not sure there is a way, but if there is one, please tell me, because I'm really interested in that. So yeah, maybe that's a bit too much. So let's just say 0.5 to dampen. And maybe that's a bit too much too. We don't want to go to 0 all the way. More like this, yeah, more like this. And maybe the speed is too much too. So let's say maybe 5. Okay, so we have our basic fireworks here. Maybe you can even try. I don't know. I don't think that would work. Let's see. 1. I'll try if that works with sub-emitters. Hey, it does. Hey, nice. Kind of. I guess it does work a bit. Let's say we want 5. Yeah, okay, it works. So this basically says, okay, if let's say the particle move from left to right, and then you spawn a bunch of particles here, those particles will keep moving all the way to the right. So that's what it does here. Which I think is an okay thing to have, since that's how it would work a bit in real life. That's fine. So now that we have that, I mean, it kind of works, but it's missing a flash to say, okay, that's at this point that the explosion starts. So first of all, let's say that the shape is smaller, that they start really at the center of it. Maybe that's a bit too small. Like this should work. We need to create a new particle system here, and let's call it flash. So of course, once again, let's change that. It's a flash, so I only want one to spawn at the point I want, so vertex, mesh. And I don't want any speed. The lifetime, it's a flash, so let's say 0.15. And the size, let's say 5, that's big enough. Let's give it the glow material. Okay. Now we just have to create a new sub-emitter here and flash. So I'll add the death. And you can see the flash already. Nice. Now the flash, let's say it should be a bit bigger, maybe even bigger, but it's very static. It's there, then it's not there, and yeah, it does not really look like an explosion to me. So we'll use this flash as kind of the implosion to say that it's boom, it goes to the center of it. So let's just make it so that it goes not up, the speed goes down. Like this, that's a lot better already. Now it looks like an explosion. And so let's say I want to add a little shockwave to it. Because yeah, it's cool to have a flash and an explosion, but I like shockwaves, so let's add one. The shockwave will go that way. Facebook. There, better. No more notifications. And let's say I want it to go like this. As you'll see, of course, we have to add it here. Death, shockwave, okay. Okay, and I want it to last a bit longer here. Should be good. Also, I don't want loops on those ones, so let's remove them. But yeah, it doesn't look like a shockwave because, as you can see, it's just a glow that just grows up and then fades. So we have to create a new texture for it. So a new texture, maybe this one should be a bit bigger. Well, 128 should be fine. Ctrl I to invert, Ctrl Shift N. And the way I do my shockwaves is just create an ellipse, remove the fill, that we don't see the fill anymore, and let's create a new gradient. So yeah, it's been I did that earlier, so it's already working, but let's do as if it was on default. And so let's take this one here, and instead of linear, I want it to be radial. And let's just change it so that we have more black and less white. Maybe a bit more like this. Okay. Opacity should be fine. And if you want something a bit more graphical, we can even do this. So that you see there is a small outline to it. Now we can even say duplicate all we have here, and then a little glow like we added earlier. Let's say I want it to be at 50% and on screen. Maybe a bit more, 50, 75. Then once again duplicate everything, and yet again another glow and 50%. Then let's save this into text and shockwave. Okay. Then let's duplicate our glow, we call it shockwave, and put the shockwave here. Now that's a bit too bright, so we'll change it later. Already here. And let's put this into here. And as you can see, that's already kind of working shockwave. But I want it to fade, of course. I don't want it to pop out like that, because it's ugly, so... Hey! Now it's way too big, so maybe 5. Maybe 6.5. Yeah, that works. It lasts a bit too long, some 0.3. Okay. Bam. Okay. Just to try to see if it works with the delay. And it works. Okay, nice. So that the explosion happens and then the particles are emitted. Good. Well, now it's all good. I mean, it works. You have your particle here. Maybe just add a trail to the missile because that would look a lot better. I wanted to die with the particles because if you don't, we'll try without, just so you see. Lifetime, let's say 0.4. Oh, just so you can see. Let's say test 1. Let's give it the trail material here. And as you can see, if you do that, it just disappears at the same time. That's okay. But if we deactivate this, it will wait for the trail to die before spawning the particles, which is not really something we want. So let's just say it dies with them, and to compensate for this, that we don't see the big chunk just disappearing at the same time, just do this. To just change the brightness a bit to white, so that it's not as white, and let's give it a nice curve. That should be fine. A gradient for the lifetime to like this. Let's move the shape so you can see the thing. And here you have some fireworks. Now for this, too much gravity. Yeah, that's a little better. Now the speed is too much for me. Let's give it 3. And now the inner rate is way too big. 0.2. Let's give it a bit more gravity to compensate. Now that's good. Now that's looking good. Maybe the flash could be a bit bigger. I like big flashes. Okay, that's good. Okay, and now, if you would just want to have this one spawn a lot of particles, spawn a lot of fireworks, I mean, you can just have like this, rate over time. And here you have your party. And if you don't want all your fireworks to look the same, you can just change the main color here of your missile. Have some red, or maybe some greens. And what you can even do is duplicate this, oops, to have, like, let's say one that spawns reds and one that spawns let's say dark blue, purple stuff here, and let's say one will spawn that way, so it's minus 60 or minus 60 should be fine, and this one, nope. Where is it? Okay, minus 60 here. And then to combine them, just create a new particle system. Let's 0, 0, just let's clean. And let's say main FX. I'm not good with names, but like this. And let's remove the emission for this. Window 2 to make sure. And here you have your little thing. 45, and 45. Oh, rather 10 and 10. Oh, maybe 15. And here you have your stuff ready for the party. Hey, ready. Oh, good. So yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. And yeah, feel free to experiment. I think that's the most important part, honestly, of this. Because this is really the main basic stuff, how to make a fireworks. But if you experiment, adding more randoms, adding more stuff, different kind of missiles, different speeds, different shapes. You can even have mesh shapes so that your fireworks will look like a mesh you want. And yeah, just test stuff, Google stuff, ask me if you have any questions. And I hope you learned stuff here. And once again, thanks for watching this video. And I'll see you later. Bye!